Ladies and gentlemen, there was a time when I believed that being soft, being kind, being accommodating would make life easier. That if I just smiled enough, if I just stayed silent, if I just kept giving, one day the world would see my worth. But I was wrong, because in this world, the more you bend, the more people will push you down. The more you give, the more they will take. The more you silence your voice, the more invisible you become. Let me tell you something. Softness is not a virtue when it comes at the cost of your self-respect. Being a woman does not mean being weak. It does not mean being a doormat. It does not mean sacrificing yourself until there is nothing left of you. You were not born to be fragile. You were born with fire in your soul and strength in your bones. You were not created to be merely seen and not heard. You were meant to shake the ground you walk on. So stop apologizing for taking up space. Stop saying yes when your heart screams no. Stop waiting for someone to save you. You are not a damsel in distress. You are a warrior. And warriors don't wait to be rescued. They fight their own battles. I know what it feels like to be broken. I know what it feels like to give so much of yourself that there's nothing left to give. I know what it's like to be underestimated, to be told you're too emotional, too sensitive, too much. But do you know what I've learned? That the world only respects those who respect themselves first. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. If life has broken you, stand up anyway. If they have silenced you, speak louder anyway. If they have told you that you are too weak, too incapable, too small, prove them wrong. Softness without self-respect leads to invisibility. Too often we are taught that being soft is a virtue. We are told to be gentle, to be kind, to accommodate others, to compromise, to be patient, to endure. We are told that a good woman is one who sacrifices, who bends, who never raises her voice, who never questions. And we believe it. We believe that if we are soft enough, the world will love us. If we give enough, people will appreciate us. If we keep quiet and never demand, we will be valued. But the truth is, the softer you are, the more you disappear. The more you give without boundaries, the more people take without gratitude. The more you silence your voice, the easier it becomes for others to speak over you. The world does not respect softness that comes without strength. The world does not cherish those who erase themselves for the comfort of others. Look around you. How many women have spent their entire lives giving only to be left empty? How many have stayed in situations where they were not valued, hoping that their kindness would be enough to change things? How many have buried their dreams because they were told that their duty was to serve, to obey, to adjust? And what happened to them? Did their sacrifice make them more loved? Did their silence make them more respected? Or did the world simply move on, taking everything they gave and leaving them with nothing? You see, there is a difference between kindness and self-neglect. There is a difference between being a good person and being a person who allows themselves to be used. When you give without limits, when you love without self-respect, when you accommodate without asking for anything in return, you are not being noble. You are making yourself invisible. You are teaching people that you do not need, that you do not expect, that you do not matter. And if you do not believe you matter, why would anyone else? Think of the times you let things go when you should have spoken up. Think of the moments you said yes when your entire being wanted to say no. Think of the nights you cried yourself to sleep because you had given everything and received nothing. And then ask yourself, was your softness a gift, or was it a burden you carried in the hope that one day someone would appreciate it? The reality is, people do not appreciate what comes too easily. They do not value what is freely given without being earned. They do not respect what does not demand respect in return. When you are too soft, too giving, too forgiving, the world does not see it as kindness. It sees it as an invitation to take more. You must understand that there is power in setting boundaries. There is strength in saying no. There is dignity in expecting respect. Being soft is beautiful, but softness without self-respect is self-destruction. It is not kindness to let people walk over you. It is not love to lose yourself for someone else. It is not generosity to give so much that there is nothing left of you. The world will not hand you respect. It will not give you a voice. It will not recognize your worth until you recognize it yourself. If you want to be valued, you must first value yourself. If you want to be respected, you must first respect yourself. If you want to be seen, you must first stop making yourself invisible. There is a fire inside you. You were not born to be small. You were not created to be silent. You were not meant to be a background character in your own life. Do not let the world convince you that your softness is your only strength, because true strength is knowing when to be soft and when to stand firm. True strength is knowing that your voice matters. True strength is understanding that you are worthy, not because of what you give, but because of who you are. You were born with fire. Stop dimming your own light. From the moment we enter this world, we are filled with potential, with a spark that is meant to grow into something powerful. We are born with dreams, with passion, with the ability to create, to build, to lead. But somewhere along the way, we start shrinking, not because we lack the ability, but because we are told over and over again that we must. We are told to lower our voices, to soften our presence, to be less so that others can feel more. It starts subtly. A young girl speaks her mind, and she is told she is too loud, too bold, too much. She is asked to be polite, to be agreeable, to not challenge too much. She watches as others around her do the same. Women who once had dreams, but gave them up for the sake of others. Women who had fire in their souls, but were told to tame it, to control it, to dim it just enough so that they don't make anyone uncomfortable. And so she learns to take up less space. She learns to second guess her own brilliance. She learns that shining too brightly comes with consequences. And so she dims her light. She hides parts of herself. She lowers her voice. Not because she has nothing to say, but because she has been made to believe that speaking up is a risk. She suppresses her ambitions, not because she lacks the desire, but because she has been told that wanting too much is selfish. She ignores the fire inside her, choosing instead to blend in, to be safe, to not draw too much attention. And in doing so, she loses a piece of herself. The world benefits when you stay small. It benefits when you doubt yourself, when you hesitate, when you hold yourself back. Because the moment you embrace your power, everything changes. The moment you stop apologizing for who you are, you become unstoppable. But the world does not teach women to be unstoppable. It teaches them to conform. It teaches them to adjust, to settle, to accept less than what they deserve. How many times have you dimmed your own light so that someone else could shine? How many times have you held back your ideas, your dreams, your opinions just to avoid making others uncomfortable? How many times have you hidden your success, your intelligence, your strength just because you were afraid of being seen as too much? Think of all the things you could have done if you had not been taught to be afraid. Think of all the chances you did not take because you were waiting for permission. Think of all the moments you made yourself smaller because you thought that was the only way to be accepted. And then ask yourself, who did that serve? Did it make you happier? Did it bring you fulfillment? Or did it only leave you feeling unseen, unheard, and unfulfilled? You were never meant to be small. You were never meant to spend your life doubting yourself, questioning your worth, waiting for the world to give you permission to be great. The fire inside you was placed there for a reason. It was not meant to be controlled, to be dimmed, to be hidden. It was meant to burn brightly. It was meant to light up your path. It was meant to inspire others. But no one will do it for you. No one will come and tell you that it's time to shine. No one will give you the permission you are waiting for. You must decide that you are done being less than who you are. You must decide that you are done living a life that does not reflect the power inside you. You must decide that you will no longer let the world tell you how much space you are allowed to take up. There will be people who do not like it. There will be people who feel threatened when you embrace your power. There will be those who try to pull you back, who remind you of all the reasons you should stay small. But that is not your burden to carry. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Your only responsibility is to yourself, to your dreams, to your purpose, to the fire that has always been inside you, waiting for you to let it burn. Stop waiting to be saved. Fight your own battles. From the time we are little girls, we are fed stories of rescue. We hear tales of damsels in distress, of women waiting in towers, of knights in shining armor coming to save the day. We are conditioned to believe that someone will come, that someone will see our pain, that someone will fix what is broken. And so we wait. We wait for someone to notice our struggles. We wait for someone to understand our pain. We wait for someone to open a door for us, to give us an opportunity, to fight for us, to stand up for us. But life is not a fairy tale. The reality is no one is coming. No one will fight for you the way you should fight for yourself. No one will rescue you from your own life. People may love you. They may care for you. They may even support you, but they will never fight your battles for you because your battles are yours alone. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you will realize your own strength. How many times have you waited for a friend to speak up for you, waited for a family member to understand you, waited for an opportunity to magically appear? How many times have you sat in silence, hoping someone would notice the pain behind your smile? But no one noticed, did they? Because people are too busy fighting their own battles, and that is not their fault. It is simply the way life works. Everyone is carrying their own burdens. Everyone is struggling with their own fears. Everyone is focused on their own survival. So why are you waiting? Why are you expecting the world to give you what you should be taking for yourself? Why are you holding yourself back, waiting for someone to tell you that it is finally your turn? The truth is, no one is ever going to give you permission. No one is ever going to hand you the life you want on a silver platter. You have to go out and get it yourself. You have to be the one to take the first step. You have to be the one to say, I deserve better. You have to be the one to get up when life knocks you down. You have to be the one to fight when everything inside you wants to quit. Because if you do not fight for yourself, who will? If you do not believe in yourself, why should anyone else? Strength is not something you are given. It is something you build. It is something you create in the moments when you feel weak, in the moments when you feel lost, in the moments when you feel like giving up. Strength is choosing to get up one more time, even when the world has given you every reason to stay down. Strength is refusing to accept less than what you deserve. Strength is standing up for yourself, even when your voice shakes. There will be times when you feel alone. There will be times when the weight of the world feels too heavy to carry. There will be times when you wonder if it is even worth the fight. And in those moments, you will be tempted to give up. You'll be tempted to wait, to hope, to pray that someone will come and make everything better. But that is when you must remind yourself, no one is coming. This is your life, your battle, your war. And you're stronger than you think. You do not need a rescuer. You do not need someone to come and save you from yourself. You do not need the world to validate your pain before you allow yourself to heal. You do not need permission to rise, to fight, to become everything you were meant to be. You only need the courage to start, to take the first step, to believe even when it feels impossible. The world is full of people who gave up too soon, people who had dreams but let fear hold them back, people who had fire in their souls but waited too long for someone to give them a chance, people who could have been unstoppable but chose to stay small because they were afraid of fighting alone. Do not be one of those people. Do not spend your life waiting for something that may never come. Do not let the fear of the battle keep you from the victory that is waiting for you on the other side. You have always been strong enough. You have always been capable enough. You have always had everything you needed within you. But you must choose to see it. You must choose to fight. You must choose to stop waiting for someone else to give you a life that only you have the power to create. The world only respects those who respect themselves first. Respect is not something that is given freely. It is not something that the world hands out simply because you exist. It is not something that comes from being kind, from being selfless, from being accommodating. Respect is earned, and it is earned first and foremost by how you treat yourself. If you do not respect yourself, if you do not value yourself, if you do not stand up for yourself, do not expect the world to do it for you. From a young age, we are told to be humble, to be giving, to put others before ourselves. We are told that being liked is more important than being respected, that being agreeable is more valuable than being strong. And so we learn to prioritize the needs of others, to make ourselves small, to stay quiet when we should speak, to accept less than what we deserve. We think that if we just keep giving, if we just keep sacrificing, the world will recognize our worth. But it doesn't work that way. The world does not reward those who give without limits. It rewards those who set boundaries. Look at the people who are respected in society. They are not the ones who apologize for taking up space. They are not the ones who say yes when they mean no. They are not the ones who allow themselves to be walked over, hoping that one day someone will notice and appreciate them. The people who are respected are the ones who demand it, the ones who know their worth, the ones who refuse to settle for less, the ones who stand tall, even when the world tries to break them down. How you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. If you constantly put yourself last, if you constantly ignore your own needs, if you constantly let people take advantage of you, they will assume that is what you deserve. People will treat you based on the standards you set for yourself. If you allow disrespect, you will be disrespected. If you accept less, you will always receive less. If you tolerate being ignored, being undervalued, being treated as an afterthought, that is exactly how the world will see you. Self-respect is not arrogance, it is not selfishness, it is not about being harsh or unkind. It is about knowing your worth and refusing to compromise on it. It is about setting boundaries and enforcing them. It is about having the courage to walk away from situations that do not serve you, no matter how much you may want to stay. It is about making decisions based on what is best for you, not based on what makes others comfortable. Think about the times you have let things slide when you should have spoken up. The times you have agreed to things you did not want just to keep the peace. The times you have accepted less than what you deserved because you were afraid of asking for more. And then ask yourself, did any of it earn you more respect? Did people value you more because you made yourself smaller for their convenience? Or did they simply learn that you were someone who could be taken for granted? Respect starts with you. It starts with how you see yourself. It starts with how you speak to yourself, how you carry yourself, how you allow others to treat you. It is in the way you say no without guilt. It is in the way you demand to be heard. It is in the way you refuse to shrink to make others feel comfortable. You do not need to be aggressive to be respected. You do not need to be loud to be taken seriously. You simply need to believe deep in your core that you are worthy of respect. Because when you truly believe that, the world will have no choice but to believe it too. Own your power, or the world will define you on its terms. From the moment you enter this world, society begins to shape you. It tells you who you should be, how you should act, what you should want, and where you belong. It sets expectations, limitations, and rules that were never designed to empower you, but to control you. And if you are not careful, if you are not conscious, you will spend your entire life living according to those definitions instead of creating your own. You are given labels before you even understand their meaning. You are told that a good woman is quiet, that a respectable woman does not demand too much, that a likable woman does not challenge or question. You are taught that your worth is tied to how much you give, how much you sacrifice, how much you endure. And so without even realizing it, you start shaping yourself to fit these molds. You start erasing parts of yourself to be more acceptable. You start suppressing your desires, your ambitions, your fire, because you have been conditioned to believe that taking up space is a burden rather than a right. But what happens when you allow the world to define you? You lose yourself. You wake up one day and realize that you have become a version of yourself that you never chose. You realize that your dreams were replaced with expectations, that your voice was silenced by the fear of disapproval, that your power was taken from you the moment you agreed to play by rules that were never meant to serve you. Look around. How many women are living lives they never truly wanted? How many have settled for less because they were told that wanting more was selfish? How many have accepted unhappiness because they were convinced that happiness was not theirs to claim? This is what happens when you do not own your power. This is what happens when you let the world define you instead of defining yourself. Power is not something that is given. It is something you claim. It is something you step into. It is something you refuse to let anyone take away from you. But too many of us are afraid of it. We are afraid of being seen as too bold, too strong, too independent. We are afraid of being judged, of being criticized, of being misunderstood. And so we shrink. We apologize for our strength. We downplay our success. We pretend to be less than we are so that we don't make others uncomfortable. But in doing so, we betray ourselves. Owning your power means standing tall even when the world tries to break you. It means choosing yourself even when others expect you to choose them. It means refusing to accept a definition of yourself that does not align with who you truly are. It means deciding that you are worthy not because someone else says so, but because you say so. There will always be people who try to tell you who you should be. There will always be those who want to shape you according to their needs. There will always be a world that benefits from your silence, your compliance, your willingness to settle. But the moment you decide to take ownership of your own identity, everything changes. The moment you decide that you are done living by rules that were never yours to begin with, you become unstoppable. You are not weak. You are not incapable. You are not meant to be a supporting character in someone else's story. You are powerful beyond measure, but only if you choose to believe it. Only if you choose to step into it. Only if you choose to define yourself on your own terms rather than allowing the world to do it for you.